For the light, which is the law, we bring in Harvard Law Professor Emeritus Alan Dershowitz. Professor, thank you for joining us on short notice. What is the short answer to what happens when this is challenged federally?
Under the existing law, in order for the Ten Commandments to be shown, they have to be shown as part of a secular historical exhibit. They can't be predominantly intended to foster religion. But we have a new Supreme Court since those cases, and this Supreme Court is much more sympathetic to a religion, particularly the Judeo-Christian religion. So there's no predicting with absolute certainty how the court would come out. Clearly, this is intended to be religious. It isn't intended to be secular. I know the Ten Commandments. I can recite them. And the first four, according to the Jewish tradition, first three, according to the Catholic and Protestant tradition, have nothing to do with good citizenship. Do not make a graven image. Do not take the name of the Lord in vain. God damn it. These are very religious orientations. Yeah, don't kill. Even don't kill is controversial because the Hebrew is lo tirtzach. Do not murder.
Don't murder.
Catholic and Protestant versions say don't kill, which has implications both for abortion and the death penalty. Look, we are the most divided country since the Civil War. Do we really now want to divide between religions? This is Judeo-Christian. It's not Muslim. It's not Hindu. It's not Buddhist. It establishes a religion. So it's wrong as a matter of legal and constitutional policy, though I cannot predict for you now how this Supreme Court would come out on this particular issue. If it follows precedent, it would say, no, you can't have that in school, particularly because schools are places where young people can be influenced, different than having a large Ten Commandment monument in front of a courthouse. So I think the court will come out and strike it down, but I'm not absolutely positive.
So I wanted Dershowitz on for two reasons tonight, other than the obvious, which is I love talking to him. One is he's a mentor of mine, and two, I was shocked when I heard from my producer, Ben, that Dershowitz had said, well, I don't know, this is a pretty religious Supreme Court. Maybe they'll move away from precedent, because I would have never thought you would say that. But what does that mean, that Alan Dershowitz is up to the Supreme Court justices have a different take on what's a no-brainer legal issue?
Well, let me be very clear. I have never, ever stated my preferences when I predict how the Supreme Court will come out. That's why I've been so accurate over the years in making predictions. I hope and pray, pray that the Supreme Court strikes this down. But I'm not going to predict that this Supreme Court with Alito and Thomas and even the Chief Justice, who is, balanced, even Justice Breyer, who was quite secular and quite liberal, allowed a monument on the Supreme Court as long as it was part of a secular historical display. Remember, too, in the Supreme Court building itself, where I clerked 55, 60 years ago, there is Muhammad, Moses, and all the lawgivers, but it's part of a secular historical context. Right. And so, I want the Supreme Court to strike this down. That's my hope, but I don't know for sure that this Supreme Court will.
Alan Dershowitz, thank you very much, Professor, for laying it out for us. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.